And we are live. Here we are in this wonderful world we are in. We have two guests today, two surprise guests. Lawson first, Lawson Thresher, director. He's been here before to talk about Friedkin, but we're here to talk about Scorsese today. And then we have my good buddy Mac down there below to talk about Scorsese. Good friend of mine, also filmmaker, actor as well. Add that in there. And then you got me. You know who I am. Seen me 7 times already. And then let's see what else. I think let's go right with the JFP intro. You guys ready for the sexy intro?
Let's do it.
Thank you to Will for that intro from the network. Props to him for creating that. And I guess we're just going to get right into it. Killers of the Flower Moon. There we are at the bottom. This is a cinema podcast. This is our cinema episode. We're going to talk only strict cinema, no Marvel shit in here. Only the real cinema. I'm wearing my A24 shirt. Guys like that. I can't, it's mirrored, so it's hard for me to coordinate, but yep, A24, even though this is an A24 film, A24 is real cinema. Shout out A24. It's good, boys. How's it going? It's going great. I don't know why it says Facebook user. Is that Deontay? But okay. We're doing good. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Doing swell.
Doing swell? Okay. So, I guess this. I'm a terrible host. Deontay's better at this, but to start it out. Oh, it's Will. Okay, it's the boy Will. What's up, Will? In the comments, how you doing? Let's start out with, since we're talking Scorsese, what are your guys' favorite Scorsese movies? Either one of you can go.
You go ahead.
I gotta say Killers of the Flower Moon. I really liked it. I have a lot to break down.
Wow, Killers of the Flower Moon.
I've not seen a lot of Scorsese movies, but this one up there for me.
All right. So I mean, that's a good intro to probably what your score is for it. Lawson, what about you?
I gotta go.
Mean Streets.
No, I gotta go with Taxi Driver, and close second would be Shutter Island. I think those are both great films.
Shutter Island and Taxi Driver. Deontay. Yeah, he's in here. But yeah, Shutter Island and Taxi Driver, those are good ones. Mine, if I had to go with one, I'm thinking. Maybe Casino. I want to say maybe Casino. Or Taxi Driver's a good one. Or Shutter Island, probably, yeah. Those are my 3. So basically Lawson's with Casino, of course. But yeah. I'd say that's probably mine. I mean, I've seen a lot of his films. I haven't seen all of them. Of his mainstream films, I've seen all of them except Silence and Gangs of New York were the only 2 I have not seen from him. And other than that, I've seen all of his mainstream, like his popular ones, Goodfellas, Casino, all those good ones. So, when did you watch Killers, Mac?
Killers, I saw, I want to say, I think like this day after it came out in theaters. And it was a pretty packed movie theater, I would say. Everybody was pretty quiet the whole time, and people sat down after the movie and just watched through all the credits, and everybody left after, and people seemed to like it.
Dang. Me and Lawson went and saw it together a few weeks ago. I think opening day. on a Friday, and there's barely anybody in there, and there's a dude sleeping in there snoring during our experience.
I thought that was going to be the other special guest, the dude that fell asleep in the theater.
Yes, because he was snoring the whole time. He really was. But I mean, it is a long movie. I'll give him that. And it's a long movie, but the runtime is warranted, I think. I feel like the runtime is warranted. And I mean, did you guys feel the runtime at all?
You might have shortened it some, but not much. I mean, the characters, it got you invested in the characters. I think my favorite director was Sergio Leone, and he said that a movie is only long if it's boring.
It's facts. It's facts. Was it like a mystery type feel or more suspense? Kind of both. I mean, the mystery is kind of blown up. You know what's kind of happening within the first 30 minutes. It's more of just like watching everything happen. Kind of. There's not much mystery to it. You're just watching these people infiltrate this community and kind of just completely just almost genocide like, which is kind of a lot of people's issue with it is it's too dark, but I mean, it's got to be dark. The story's dark. It's based off of true history. And I mean, also shout out to Scorsese for working with the Osage people and shooting it completely in Oklahoma. I confirmed that now. I wasn't for sure, but I looked it up. He shot it completely in Oklahoma. So I'm pretty sure they had to build a town or something because the set design in this is beautiful and great production value.
What was the budget on this film? What was it, 200 million or 100 million?
I want to say, I think it was like 150, maybe right in the middle. I'm not for sure. I'd have to look it up. But how long was it? It's about 3 hours and 27 minutes. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
3 hours and 20, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Like I said, the story, you kind of have to see all of it. And it could have gone longer for me. Like I was so invested in the story where I could stay another hour in that world, which a lot of people didn't want to stay in that world. I mean, it is rough, but like, I mean, sometimes you gotta experience these things because history's not always pretty. And I like that Scorsese didn't hold back. I kind of wish he could have done even more brutal if he wanted to, but then you're kind of leaning more into the horror aspect of it. So, but for a lot of people, he did way too much. So, I mean, I guess it's just mainly taste is what you want on that. Because, like Mac, you said that I remember we texted about it, and you said that the brutality was kind of hard sometimes.
It was. I saw an interesting post that said, I believe the budget actually was 200 million, but somebody said this is like what people should spend budget on, not like Thor: Love and Thunder and like Quantum Mania or whatever, but like this is like what he spent a $200 million budget on. I'm not bashing those films or anything, but I think because the runtime is so long, I think like a budget for a film like that kind of speaks for itself and earns its place, you know. Mainly saying so because it may not have good rewatchability, but it because the movie's so long and dark and gruesome and things like that. But I feel that the film, the story is so powerful with the Osage people and how people like Ernest's character and things like that take advantage of the people and their inheritance to the oil money and all that. I feel like the runtime kind of earns itself, even if it's only a one-time watch.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like they should just be spending $200 million on making movies like this, giving Scorsese, giving Nolan, giving people like that the money for the production value, and just because I feel like they had to build a town in Oklahoma. If they shot this completely in Oklahoma, like everything I've read says, they had to have built a town or something, a big production set at least. I think that's probably where a lot of the money, and Leo, of course, Leo probably took a chunk of it.
I think he makes
But,
25 million a picture.
yeah, which it's warranted because you got to have a actor like Leo to pull off his character because his character is so stupid, but like he could come off as Forrest Gump if he's not played right. But the way Leo plays him, I think, is perfect. Where he comes off, he's an idiot, but he doesn't come off like a Forrest Gump type, where where you kind of feel sorry for him type way. It's just he's just very gullible, and it's also a different role for Leo because Leo's always playing like the main protagonist. Like stuff like Inception, even in Shutter Island and stuff. Shutter Island's a different thing, but like he's always the main guy, and he's always kind of in control of everything or of the plot, or thinks he is anyway. And then this one, he's kind of carried around by a leash by Robert De Niro's character, which is pretty. He even gets spanked by Robert De Niro in this film. We said, it's all we can talk spoilers in this stream, so. He gets spanked by Robert De Niro. So, it really is Robert De Niro's bitch in this movie. But, like, even Robert De Niro, though, he gave it's such a silent performance, but it's so well done. It kind of reminds me of Joe Pesci in Irishman in that same type of way, where it's, like, quiet but intense, where, like, he doesn't say a lot, but, like, when he does say stuff, he comes across a certain way, and he's just really good. Robert De Niro is just, that's spinning circles. Everybody knows Robert De Niro is good, but like, I feel like it should be said because usually, sometimes with De Niro, he plays these big bombastic roles, and like in this one, he's playing a more subtle character who's subtly killing people instead of like Goodfellas, where it's over the top and it's he's very loud, and he's not in this film. And props to him. I think he deserves the Best Supporting Actor nomination. And let's talk about, if we're going that way, let's talk about Lily Gladstone. I think she deserves the Best Actress or Best Supporting, whatever she would fall into. She deserves the nomination and I think the win, because the way she played that character of Molly and the way she was able to like show like strength but not saying a lot, and like also like when she gets sick in the film, it's just like you feel like really, really bad for her. Like she looks actually like really, really sick. Like she plays it off so well. And I think I saw an interview with her and she said she was going to quit acting before this job, which is crazy because she wasn't getting roles. And I really hope this film opens up doors for her because she was fantastic in this film.
I bet she'll get the Oscar.
She deserves it.
I think she'll get a nomination for sure.
She deserves it. The only person that I've seen that would beat her would maybe be Margot Robbie and Barbie, but I love Margot Robbie, but I think this is a better performance overall than that. But where does this movie rank for you guys of the year? I know, Austin, you don't watch many new movies, so yours will be different, but Mac watches quite a few new ones. Like, where does this rank in your like of the year of 2023?
I can't choose between it and Oppenheimer, really. They're apples and oranges, but I think I saw three films this year in theaters, and I like two of them.
The other one being Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that one was shit, but I think most films that come out now are shit. So, but this is a great film. I like going out and supporting films like this because I hope they make more of them.
What about you, Mac?
Yeah, I'd probably put this probably at 1 or 2 for the year. I don't know. This film stood out a lot to me just because even though it was long like Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer is 1 or 2 as well. But yeah, the commitment to the characters and the pacing of the film really kept us intrigued, and they were changing camera shots frequently. And yeah, again with Lily Gladstone's performance, I really think although her character doesn't seem like her character changes externally in her performance, she kind of stays calm and restrained like throughout the entire film. What's great about her performance, I think, is that she's hiding all of that inside, and we don't know what she's thinking even until the end of the film, when she asks Ernest, like, what did you put in my medicine at the end of the film? You could guess, but you kind of see it in her eyes, just like the disdain, or there's a lot going on there. But yeah, I thought that was really great about her performance, is just like all the mystery that she had, even though she was so calm. There was that great acting came from everything she was kind of bottling up inside.
Yeah, I would put it. I'd probably put it. It's second for me because of, and it would definitely be first all year round if it wasn't for Oppenheimer coming out this year. And I mean, I've already praised Oppenheimer enough on the podcast I did about it. But I mean, Oppenheimer's in my top 50 favorite films of all time. So Killers of the Flower Moon, it would have had to been like a complete, like, I don't know. It would have had to been, it wasn't realistically going to be my number one just because Oppenheimer just solidified there. But definitely close number two for sure. Definitely close number two. And I've seen a lot. So, I mean, that's a lot of movies that it has to compete with because, I mean, for this podcast, I have to watch a whole shit ton of movies. So, like, for it to be number two, that's still really good considering I've seen a lot of great films this year. And, like, I was even talking about this the other day with somebody. My top 10 is probably all 4.5 out of 5 A movies. Like, there's been so many great films this year that a lot of people have missed. And, yeah. But what was the budget for the movie and what was the overall reception? The budget for the movie, I think Mac just said that. You said 200 mil, right?
Yeah, I think, I mean, you'll probably have to research it, but I saw a post that said the budget for the film was, somebody said, I wish that people spent 200 million on Killers of the Flower Moon, films like that, as opposed to like Marvel movies like Love and Thunder, Thor, Love and Thunder, and like Quantumania, things like that.
Yeah, all my homies hate Love and Thunder, except Mac.
I think it's a fun film. I don't think it's at all a top tier Marvel movie, but it's a fun one.
Lawson thinks all the MCU movies are trash, so he doesn't have an opinion, as he just shakes his head. What was the overall reception of the movie? Did it receive with the audience? Overall reception, it's been great from what I've seen. I think it's got like a 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, everybody's talking about it. I think it has a few criticisms from I've seen a few Native American like pages criticize it for how it portrayed because it said, well, it's a white director doing it. But I'd argue with that because he did include the Osage people and like he went to where the events happened and actually did it where the events happened. He actually collaborated with the Native Americans to make it. So, I mean, I feel like that argument's kind of, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's valid for them, but for me, I think it's invalid because he actually went with Native Americans and like made sure it was respectful. And even I actually know a little behind the scenes of the script. It was originally going to be from the FBI perspective. The guy that plays the main FBI guy, played by Jesse Plemons, Leo was supposed to play that character in the first draft of the script. He was supposed to play that character, and it was going to be about him infiltrating this community and catching Ernest or whatever. And it was going to be that type of movie with like an FBI type thriller is how Scorsese first approached it. But then when he got into it, and Leo actually even signed on for that role, but when they got into it, they felt like it wasn't right, and they were telling it from like a white person's perspective, and they really wanted to go inside and like tell it from like what did the community think about it. And I mean, it is told through white people's perspectives, of course, with Ernest and Robert De Niro's character, the uncle, I'm blanking on his name, but in the movie, but that Lily Gladstone, they incorporate her where she is. I mean, she's right there and everything. So I feel like it was done respectfully for the Native American community and the Osage people. I mean, he gave all of them jobs. Just to, I mean, and he worked. He went down there and did. I mean, Scorsese did all he could as a white person to tell this story, and I think it's just a testament to him because only him can make a movie. Only him and maybe a few other directors could really handle this subject well and do it with respect and do it where it's not just some kind of thriller. It's not some kind of like cheap portrayal of everything. Like you can tell the love and respect he has for the community, even at the end. I mean, even the ending is like that. So like, yeah. So it was received well, mainly well. I mean, a lot of people, I've even seen people that don't even like Scorsese a lot say, oh, this is my favorite. I've seen a lot of people say this is one of their favorite Scorsese's, which has actually kind of surprised me. But I've seen a lot, and there's a few like YouTubers I watch that do not like Scorsese or like his long movies, like The Irishman when it came out, which Irishman is way too long. But even they said, it was really long, but I couldn't find anything you could cut out because everything is so important, and it's all worth it. And you may not rewatch it, and it may not be rewatchable, but it still deserves its credit for what it's doing, the story it's telling, and the awareness it's bringing, and all of that. And I mean, I didn't know about this. Did you guys know about the story before the movie?
Mm-mm.
No, knew nothing about it.
I was reading on it though, and it was interesting that they actually changed the law after these murders that non-Osage people couldn't inherit the oil right because of these murders. So it's interesting to read about.
Yeah, I mean, I've read a little bit on it too, and I want to read the book. I heard the book is different though. I heard the book is told from a different perspective, and Ernest is a different type of character in the book apparently. But I don't know how the book could be any better. Yeah, William Hale is his name, De Niro's character. I don't know how the book could be any better than the movie. So, yeah, just everything. The cinematography was great. I forgot who the cinematographer was, but they did great. I think who edited this was it the one he always works with? I think Thelma Schoonmaker, was it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's usually. I think she was the one that edited this, and she's done all of his movies since at least the 90s, I think. So maybe the 80s. I'm not for sure, but yeah, it's edited well, paced well, in my opinion. Like I said, like I felt the runtime, but it was earned, and like I didn't care. Like I was like, I could be in the theater for another 2 hours watching this if I want to, because the performances are just so well done. The camera work, it just feels nice to be able to see a Scorsese movie again in theaters, and it just feels like, I know you guys are a little different because you don't have to go watch every new movie for a podcast, but like after seeing so many blockbusters and stuff that are just not done well, it's nice to actually. I don't want to be like Scorsese and say Marvel movies aren't real cinema, because everything is real cinema. It's an artistic vision, no matter what it is. But like, except if you're Exorcist believer, then you're not real cinema. But other than that, you're pretty much real cinema. So like, but to be able to watch like a film, like a Scorsese film in theaters was just one of the best theater experiences I had, even if a guy was snoring half the time, just because I was sitting here watching a legendary director with a legendary collab, Leo and Scorsese collabing together. That's always going to be awesome. Like, if you're a movie fan, I mean, Leo and Martin coming together is amazing. So it's one of those good, but it's actually only good for. People would say that. I disagree. I could rewatch this movie. I'm a sicko though, you know. I mean, like, I like a lot of people that get turned off by movies and say, "Oh, it's too dark" or the humor's too dark and stuff. I can rewatch over and over again. Like, I've rewatched some movies that, like, some people would be like, "Well, how are you watching that once?" So, like, I guess it depends on who you are. If you're a sick, depraved little fucker like me, maybe you could rewatch it. I mean, I could. I'd rewatch it.
We left our asses off the whole movie. Just
Yeah, me and Lawson here said, me and Lawson here were laughing. Like, we were the only ones in the theater because there are some. This movie is actually, like, it's hilarious, but it's respectful comedy. It has some respectful dark comedy in this movie. There's one scene, the scene where he gets the guy to go shoot the guy and he has to make it look like a suicide, and then he brings him the gun and he's like, "What?" Oh my! That scene had us dying.
We called that. I said he leave the gun, and you said he's going to give it to him. We like double tandem called that scene because Lawson, he said he was like, he was like, he's gonna do it the wrong way or whatever, and I was like, he's gonna bring him the gun, and I was like, and then he brings Leo the gun in the pool house or whatever, and that had me dying laughing. And then they call each other dumbbells in the movie, and there's like one scene where Leo walks in and one of the guys is being interrogated, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm just fucked now," or something like that. And it's just like, there's like subtle comedy that only Scorsese can really pull off with it not changing the tone and the pace of the film. Like, the comedy works. I mean, Mac, did you find any hilarious moments?
Yeah, the one that sticks out to me was when I think Leo's character Ernest was still flirting with Lily Gladstone's character, Molly. Molly was her name. And they're riding through the town. They're both sitting in a carriage. I think he may be driving her, or maybe they're in a car. Oh yeah, he was driving her. I think he was like her taxi driver to. I forget if it was for like a small gig or just for that day, but he's driving her. I don't know. It might be later in the movie. It happens at some point, but anyway, what happens is I think he's flirting with her a little too much, and he's really trying to get onto her because he does. What's great about his character is he really loves her, despite his plotting to take her money and whatnot, but he's flirting with her, and he keeps egging her, and she's very silent about it. And then she says something in Native American. Not sure if it's Lakota tribe, but she says something like that, and then he's just like, I think you just called. I was like, did you call me like coyote or like wolf or like something like that? Or I think, but anyway, I think he was like referring to himself as like the top dog, which was like the point of the humor or something like that. And it's the first time he gets a laugh out of her. It's just kind of funny because he's just using her he's finding common interests, mutual interests with her language, and kind of showing respect and humor for it in that way. But I just thought that was pretty funny.
I think that scene you're talking about where he said that must have been Indian for handsome devil. I think he ad-libbed that.
That was it. Yeah, it was Indian for. Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
I think I read an article where it said Scorsese and De Niro were annoyed by how much Leo was ad-libbing throughout the shooting.
I mean, that's Leo for you, man. He's a top tier actor. I mean, say what you want about his personal life, but man's a great actor, you know? And yeah, that scene was really good. He just, like you said, Meg, he just comes off like you can tell he loves her, but at the same time he's like murdering their whole family. Like, he loves her, but he's helping murder her whole family at the same time. And like I said, I could not even imagine having that role. Like, you have to play this character and you have to act like you really love her, but also you're killing her entire family. Like, you had to get like somebody like Leo to pull that role off, because like I'm not an actor at all, but like I couldn't even imagine just like having to pull that off and not come off in just as terrible, or like I don't know, like I'm still stunned by how, and a few people are having issues with Leo. Some people are saying they may hate his portrayal or they love it, they can't tell. I think he did what he did. I think he did his job. I mean, I think he killed it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I really think that Leo's character he followed the story of the script, which was to take the money, or attempt to anyway, which he doesn't succeed in the end, but which is to take her money. But he was just genuinely like listening to his uncle and to Molly's character whenever they were asking for something or needing something, whether he was drunk and wasted, or early in the relationship when he was doing a little better. But he definitely played to the moments, and you could tell just because he ad-libbed so much. But
I thought he did well. I'm trying to. Another thing we could talk about was how did you guys feel about the ending? Because I know the reason why I asked this is because Lawson, he is not a big fan of the ending. He thinks it kind of killed the whatever of it. But like, I personally, I feel like because it was so different, because so many true story movies, all they do is they pull up the black screen with the white font that says this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And for them to do like an old time radio show that was popular back when those events happened, because like that thing was actually real. Like they would do like FBI Hoover stories through a radio show. Like that was actually real. So for them to incorporate that to tell the rest of the facts, I actually liked the creativity, and I liked that they went back and they used something from that time period to help tell those facts. And the way Martin gives Lily Gladstone basically her obituary, basically is just her character. Molly's obituary is just like, it just shows that he had a lot of respect for it, because he delivers it with care, and then he delivers it with like, I don't know, a sincerity to it. And just seeing Martin Scorsese on screen is always great too. But like, I liked it. But like, what'd you think about it, Mac?
an interesting thing about the ending, I totally forgot how it ended. I just remember like the last shot where they're kind of celebrating like the Native American, they're playing on the drums and things like that. But I totally forgot about the radio scene. But now that you bring that up, I'm not sure, but I'm like 80% positive that scene with all the radio, the actors, and everybody on that stage, they were all white people. And it's so interesting because even though the main character is Leo, it kind of feels like we're siding with Molly's character, and kind of living it through her struggles in that way. And then you get the juxtaposition of these white people on this radio show, which is how it may not actually be told, which I thought I didn't realize that till now, but I think that's kind of smart storytelling, and that may not be how it should have been told, but that's just to make its point.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, they did that stuff back then. Like that was like a popular thing. There was actually a radio show that would give off like FBI stories like that. So like,
Mm-hmm.
the more I researched it, the more I enjoyed the creativity of it. So let's hear your argument, Lawson. I want to hear your argument, because I remember walking out of the theater and you were like, "Man, that ending sucks," or something.
It did.
Why did you not like what did you want them to do? What do you think they could have done differently then?
Well, to me, an ending should fit the tone of the film, and I thought to me, it was a little insulting to the characters to have these goofy sound effects and have this scene. I get what he's trying to do, but I didn't think it worked. I personally, I would have maybe had Leo's character. He's about to go to prison, and maybe he walks out into the field of the moonflowers, and he's looking around one last time, and then maybe you have a narration of this is what happened to so and so, this is what happened to so and so, or words across the screen. But I think it would have been a little more profound and a little more fitting for the characters than some goofy radio show. Personally, that to me knocked the film from being a masterpiece. I would give it 8 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10.
I just completely disagree, because if they would have done that with the narration and the you said the text on the screen, that would have been just like every other true fact movie. Like every true fact movie does that, where they have like the serious scene at the end where the actor's looking off into the distance, and then it cuts to black, and you get the narration, or you get some kind of true facts with a white line going down. And like, at least Scorsese was like, hey, because of course he knows film. He's like, hey, audiences have seen this a million different times. Let's try something different. Let's do something that was of the time, and it even has irony to it, because that's how it would be told back then too. That story would be told as entertainment. Like they told it as it was people were enjoying it for entertainment. And I think that was kind of adding to his point, is like, hey, this isn't for entertainment. This is us telling you. And I think he was trying to, like Max said, juxtapose that with like the irony of this being like all these white people just like enjoying it like it's a scary story or something.
That's kind of what Leo's kind of just doing throughout the whole movie. He's kind of, and his uncle, yeah, it's kind of like Parasite. They're taken away from it's kind of like they're taking away from the people the minorities of the community. And it's so interesting because usually a lot of them don't have money, but then they find out they have all this oil, and this is the most important part of their lives and their future families' lives as well. And the fact that they're able to steal it and ruin their whole life and joke, it's not a joke, but it seems like a joke to the Native American people. And then for them to make this comedy radio talk show about it just makes it even more outlandish, I feel like. And I think it does, it accomplishes the same thing as showing the facts in a black credit roll at the end of the film. It's just visualized in a radio show.
So, I mean, 2 against 3 there. Change your opinion, Lawson. Your opinion's wrong, but yeah.
I won't say it's wrong. I do think it would still have a great ending, and I still think the film would have had good reviews. But it was cool. It was cool to see that, and I don't know. That's just something I'd never thought of until today.
I get that, but to me, it still didn't fit the tone, and it didn't work. And some cliches are cliches because they work so damn good.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that argument too. I can see that, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it didn't throw it off, and also I didn't know this. The last scene they shot with like the Native Americans when they're doing their traditional dance or whatever they're doing there. I don't know what you call that, but that was actually shot like months later. Apparently that was like added to the film really, really late, is what I heard. Apparently he shot that he came back and shot that like months later, and like. Because I forgot, he wanted to wrap up the film a different way. So he asked the studio to give him some more money, and he went out and shot that separately. because he didn't want the film to go out on that. He wanted to add something else in respect to the Osage people, which again I think is credits to Scorsese for trying to be as respectful as he could for these people, because I mean it is their story at the end of the day. It is the tragedy that happened to them. I mean, we didn't feel the effects of it, but they still are to this day. I mean, they still are. They had, great grandparents and stuff that died during that, or great great grandparents. However, I mean, it was the 20s and 30s, so it's been a long time, but still, I mean, it still affected them down the line. And for it to be told, we never learned about it in like history class. Like all three of us, we all went to 3 different high schools, and none of us learned that. So it's like, it's just kind of interesting that that was kind of just, it shows you the holes in history and like what gets lost in history a lot of the times. And I like that Scorsese brought attention to it. It was like, this shouldn't be something that gets lost in history. It's something terrible. And it's also relevant to today, because it's hard not to get political when talking about this movie. I try not to get too political when I talk about movies. But like, this movie warrants that because it is about stuff like that. But like, it's about people who own the structure of our society and government having too much power and being able to get away with terrible things because they control that. I mean, that's one of the themes in the movie. Scorsese even says in an interview I watched of them, where he said that, the Osage people, they're the ones with all the money. The white people don't have any money. The Osage people are the ones with all the money. But the white people, they control the police, the doctors, the complete structure. The sheriff is white. Like, they control everything around the money. So they're like, it shows just how much you could be rich, but like, if you don't have the control and the power, then I mean, you see what happens. I mean, that could be applied to today with the structure of the government and them having too much control over certain people and things. And like, it's like still it's relevant to this day. You don't have to be Native American. I mean, you don't have to be anything to relate to that, because I mean, we're still dealing with effects of too much governmental control and the structures of society being controlled by not the right kinds of people. And it just shows how powerful you can be, though, if you get control of a certain structure in America.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
You do bring up politics. It's De Niro's character is like a corrupt politician, but he's not a politician.
Yeah.
He's a man who claims to love his community, and I think, honestly, his character is a complete narcissist. I believe he probably actually believed that he did love his community. He was just out for himself.
Yeah, because I mean, you see him at like the funerals, like shaking their hands and like hugging them and like comforting them when they're crying, even though he's the one that the reason why they're even at a funeral right now, and he's still comforting them. And it just, it's just so well done. And like, I don't think if Scorsese, De Niro, and DiCaprio weren't on this, I just think it would have been the list. Like, it just, those performances, and Lily Gladstone as Molly too. Just those, and even the girl, forgot her sister's name. It starts with an A, but the girl that plays her sister was really good too. The drunk one,
Anna.
She was a great actress too. She deserves a lot of credit too. She pulled that off, and I like how matter of fact the brutality is told. Some people didn't like that. I've been reading, some people didn't like that, about how it would just cut to a scene of somebody shooting somebody, and like, well, what the heck? But like, I like that it's just like it was told just like any other story, because I mean, it went down just like, I mean, there wasn't a big dramatic thing that happened when these people were murdered. They just got murdered. Like, it didn't try to make a emotional, I mean, these are real people getting killed, and it's showing it as like real people getting killed. It's not trying to make entertainment out of it. It's just showing it plain sight. And I really like that too. It's like showing the brutality plain sight. Like when they blow up the house and they go pick up the girl, and her brains are literally falling out. I mean, like, that's dark and brutal, but like, that's what would happen. I mean, it's not trying to be dramatic, and they don't play it as dramatic or anything. The guy just looks at her and he's like, well, she's dead, and then walks away like nothing. Like, it's just so well done. Y'all think it'll be oh, definitely.
No. Yeah.
Definitely, it'll be up for quite a few awards. I mean, I'm guessing it'll get a Best Picture nomination. I'm just it'll probably win too because of the story material. I think Oppenheimer should win Best Picture, honestly, but like I think this might beat it just because of the story material and you got DiCaprio attached and De Niro and you know. But yeah, this will definitely it'll be up there with Oppenheimer. So would y'all recommend people to go see this movie, or should they say the right to out? And so somebody asked, should we recommend people to go see this movie, or would they save their money till it comes out on streaming services? Seems to me it wasn't worth $10 for the tickets. It's definitely worth 2 tickets to see it. Honestly, like go support this movie in theaters. That's another problem with cinema today is too many people wait for stuff to go on streaming. And I mean, if you don't have the money, that's good. But I mean, they're going out and supporting the wrong movies. Like I don't want. I'm about to diss a movie, and I hate to diss movies, but I don't want like the new Five Nights at Freddy's. It's literally streaming on Peacock for free. You can watch it on Peacock for free, and it had the third highest opening of any horror movie at the box office. I think that was last weekend it came out, and it had the third highest grossing opening weekend of any horror movie of all time at the box office. Even though it came out Peacock same day, it was the same day, same type of thing with stream. Kind of what they did in the COVID times, where they go straight to streaming and theaters and did that. And the fact that movie grossed that much money and Killers of the Flower Moon, it's not doing that well. I don't know if it's even made its money back yet. The last time I checked it hadn't even made its money back. So I don't know if it'll be a good success or not. But definitely, if you're gonna pay to see any movie in theaters, go see this one. I know it's rough, it's long, but it's worth. I think at least everybody should see this movie at least once. Like at least once. You don't have to watch it again if it's uncomfortable. I mean, I get that, but like, it's something you need to be educated. Everybody should be educated on, because, like I said, it tells more than just the story about. It is about these Native Americans, but it tells more than just that. It shows you what can happen when certain people control the structure around you. What can happen? Like, I mean, it's terrifying in some ways.
I think.
Oh, sorry.
I think people should go see this. I like going to support, like I said, films that I think are actually good films. I wouldn't have been caught dead in the theater watching the new Exorcist film because I wouldn't support the problem.
As he looks at me,
shots fired. Yeah, if in the studio's a message that people want to see real films, I think we'll get better films. If you don't go see the remakes and the sequels and the bullshit, then we'll get better films if you go support the original ideas.
Yeah,
that's even more reason to go see this film. I think because the runtime's so long, people are scared to see it, but 3.5 hours is so long, and people have the ability to just put the movie on pause, go like use the bathroom, go walk their dog, whatever. But like this is like one of the best 3.5 hour films I've seen, and if you go to the movies, you'll want to sit there for the full time, and it's definitely worth the money. I didn't feel like it was wasted at all. I think the movie theater is the best place to see it also because it's just so beautifully done in just about every aspect. And even the pacing is pretty darn good for the most part, I would say, for this film. I think the hardest part for me with the pacing, it had a lot of dark humor and comedic elements throughout the film, but it just gets darker and darker towards the end, mainly because that's naturally where the story has to go, because it is a tragedy. But leading up to that, yeah, definitely worth seeing in cinemas.
Yeah, like it is dark. I mean, me and Lawson, we're sick, so we laughed the whole time. But like, there's little. If you're like us, there's even at the end, there's a little humorous things there. But like, you got to be kind of sick and twisted, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but like we laughed.
That's why we're friends. We're both screwed up.
Yeah. Okay, bet. So basically, it's worth it. Yeah, it's definitely worth going to see in the cinema for sure. Where does this rank? Where this is it one of the best? Yeah, we said yeah, definitely. We all have it at least number 2, if not 1. So like, yeah, definitely at least the second best movie of 2023. I think we all here are kind of like Oppenheimer, which it's Oppenheimer, so I get it. So like, I'm not gonna argue Oppenheimer's not the best movie of the year because I think it is, but like this movie would have been the best movie if it had just come out when Oppenheimer didn't. But like, 2 is still great. I mean, like I said, I've seen over 30 new movies at least. I don't know how many new movies I've seen this year, but I see too many actually. But like, and a lot of them are terrible, honestly. But like, this movie is just, it's worth it, man. And like, that's another thing. You get like a breath of fresh air, I think, in this movie. I found something that I'm actually stealing from a few movie reviewers here. I'm kind of quoting them, but like I felt this way too, but they kind of put it in words better. Is that when the FBI shows up, you kind of get a second wind because like the movie is really long, but then like once Jesse Plemons shows up as the FBI, then it kind of you start to get a second wind because like you're watching these terrible things happen. Nothing's happening. Nobody's getting saved. They're just getting away with it. And then once the FBI shows up, you're like, okay, now here comes the investigative part. It's kind of a different movie the last hour and a half. Once the FBI shows up, it turns into like, it kind of gives you a breath of fresh air because like there's a new element being added to the story, even though we're 2.5 hours in, where a new element's just being added, and then you're following that new element. And you're like, what's going to happen here? So I feel like it gives you a breath of fresh air, and that's why it also makes it one of the best 3.5 hour long movies, is because it gives you that breath of fresh air with the 2.5 hour mark with the FBI storyline. And shout out Jesse Plemons, great actor too. He doesn't get a lot of credit. He plays a lot of character actors, like in Breaking Bad, Game Night, and stuff like that. But like, he deserves more credit because yeah, he just has a way about him. Like he plays a character actor usually, but like he was great as the FBI agent in this.
Yeah, he's really good at playing really calm, analytical, kind of not laid back, but like analytical, like calm, and like kind of heartwarming characters, I guess, in a way. Love and Death is also a really good show with Jesse Plemons, with Elizabeth Olsen in it. He's really good in there as well. His character kind of reminds me a little of this one, Killers of the Flower Moon. But yeah, he does a good job in this movie.
This movie had a lot of great characters. I mean, wasn't John Lithgow in it?
Yep, John Lithgow.
Brendan Fraser, and I'm friends with Barry Corbin on Facebook. I actually told him I thought he did a good job in the film, and he thanked me. So it's had a lot of great actors.
Yeah, he was good in it for his role, and but you also get the old man from No Country for Old Men.
That's who I sent the message to.
That's Barry Corbin. Yeah, you get him. I mean, like, just seeing him. If you see No Country for Old Men, I mean, that's just a cool little Easter egg there. And then you get like Brendan Fraser just shows up, and I like his character. I have a little. I don't want to diss Brendan Fraser. He seemed a little over the top, just a little bit. And I've seen that a lot, actually. I've seen a lot of people comment on his performance and said Brendan Fraser was kind of over the top. Scorsese actually has come out and defended him and said that's how I directed him. I wanted him to be that way, which is, I mean, if he's directed that way, okay. But then that's just, like, if I had a little nitpick, I'm like, because when he comes in, because it cuts to him in the courtroom and then he just starts stands up and starts yelling. It's kind of like, because the movie's kind of somber the whole way through, and then you got this guy yelling in a courtroom. It kind of flexes the tone a little bit there.
I agree.
What do you think, Mac?
Yeah, I definitely remember his character now. And was he? I forget. Was he the which? Who was he? Was he the prosecutor or the defendant?
The defendant. Yeah, he was Robert Downey Jr., Robert De Niro's attorney or whatever.
Yeah, no, he was all foot on the gas. Like when he showed up on screen, he's like hell driven on on winning the case and like being ruthless in the courtroom, which is again showed the societal powers that the wealthier people had in the community and being able to afford lawyers like that.
Yeah, and I love the scene where Leo walks in to the room and all the white people are in the room when he's about to testify against him. If you guys remember that, it's like Brendan Fraser's there, and like all the people that are for William Hale are there, like his sister or whatever are there. And like he walks in the room, and it's like they're trying to push on him to not testify. And like that's such a great scene because he walks in, and you kind of see it from his POV, and the camera's just, and it's just all these people just like, and you feel the intimidation factor of like everybody sitting there just like ready to hop on Ernest. And I mean, it gives you more. I won't say you care for Ernest, but it gives you more like, damn, this guy was really being pushed to like do these things and not testify. And I really love that scene. And then there's the other scene with when he's sitting down with the one guy he's the husband to Anna. I think he is. Is he Anna's husband or he marries one of Molly's sisters, and then she dies, and then he marries the other one. Like he's basically doing the same thing as Leo, but like because he just like hops from sister to sister. But there's that scene where him and Leo are sitting across from each other. It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. It's like, I don't like you very much. And it's just like Leo is so playing with him, and like they're both just like back and forth. And I just love that scene because like they're just being like, I just wish people would talk like that in real life. Like if you don't like somebody, just be like, you know what? I don't like you very much. just like instead of because so many people are fake nowadays, and the fake you got to be nice to people and stuff. And I just love that confrontation between the two where they're sitting down, their wives are together, so they're supposed to be like calm and cool with each other, and they just like are subtle. They're not even yelling, they're not even screaming, they're just calmly saying, I don't even like you that much. And then I forgot what else he says, and then the guy says something to Leo, and then Leo's like, no, I don't think I will help you with that or something. I forgot, but like that was great. You look like you're about to talk, Lawson. That's why
I was trying to remember that thing.
Yeah. Well, while you're remembering, Jesse Plemons and Brendan Fraser are severely underrated actors, especially what they did to Brendan. Now that he has to try and dig his way out of the mud again, industry is evil for that. Yeah, it's a tough industry. I mean, he's coming back though with The Whale and now this, and then I want to say he has something else coming out sometime. I can't remember. He's getting a renaissance. Especially last year when The Whale came out, he got a lot of love, and he deserves it. The Whale's not that great of a movie, I don't think, but like his performance was good, and like I'm glad Brendan Fraser's coming back because I used to love him in The Mummy as a kid. Encino Man too. Blast from the Past. That's an underrated Brendan Fraser movie. If you ever seen that.
Mummy's top 10 for me.
Top 10.
And I love that film.
Wow. Lawson, the film guy, putting The Mummy, a big blockbuster 90s action film, in your top 10. That's crazy.
Just a fun movie. If you see it, you have to just stop what you're doing and watch it.
Yeah, every time it was on TV, I watched it. Were you a fan of The Mummy, Mac?
Was that with Rachel Weisz?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it. Yep. Not because of Rachel Weisz, but yeah, I just remembered the Mummy. And, yeah,
The Mummy and The Mummy Returns are both fun.
they are good movies.
Yeah, I need to rewatch those actually. Uh, I'm trying to think what else because I want to cover this movie as well because I've had a lot of thoughts on it. I've been wanting to talk about. I wish Deontay could have joined us today because he he said he wanted to talk about it. I mean, we went over the camera work, we went over the actors, the scenes we liked. I mean, were there any other scenes or anything that you guys like think about or like wanted to note?
I
Any
love
scene?
I love the scene where the yard is on fire and it cuts between Leo sitting in bed and his wife's sick and it shows the silhouettes of the people trying to put out the fire. I thought that was a really well done scene. That scene stuck out for me.
What
And
about you, Matt?
that's while she's sick too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
During the fires, yeah. And those are the Native American people trying to put out fires that other people set to their land too, right?
I think so. I can't
Nero's,
remember.
De Niro's yard that's on fire
Oh, it's De
Yeah.
Niro's yard.
because it's a shot of him that on a long angle lens in the
Oh
flat
yeah,
frame.
Mm.
I love
Yeah.
when he comes up with the goggles in that car.
Yeah.
He's like I'm going to something, and he's like, but like he's saying the most intimidating things, but he's like, you can't take him seriously because he's wearing those goggles. I remember Lawson when we watched the movie. He was like, what is he wearing?
I remember when they blew up the house and they pull up back up into town and they just see the house that's completely missing. He said, "Well, he used too much dynamite."
Yeah, I love that. Any other scenes, Mac, that you can think of?
Really, just like the last, not the last scene, but like the scene where they just sit down, Ernest and Molly, and it's after the court case, and then her, I believe, Clemens, Jesse Clemens' character, the FBI investigator. He's just standing in the room, but he basically lies about what he put in the medicine, and she very well knows that it wasn't it wasn't insulin that was that was in, in in what he was given to her because he was the only person who could have put that in, um, who'd been helping her and giving her stuff while she was sick.
Yeah,
But
I love that scene.
just to like see the devastation in both of their eyes after he says that, and then she just you know what she's thinking, like even though her face doesn't change because she just keeps staring at him, and then she leaves. I thought that was a really well done scene.
I can't remember. Remember, Jake, I was telling you. Imagine the trust woman. She had kids with this man, and I don't know how long they were together, 10 years or something, and he was trying to kill her family the whole time. Can you imagine the trust issues this woman had with her ex-husband?
Yeah, like
Then she got remarried.
yeah, it says she got remarried in her obituary. So like, yeah, the trust issues probably were rough with her, but like, yeah, I love that scene. I honestly wish it could have ended on that scene, but like, you can't do that because there's too much information left open. They had to do something else, and that's why, again, I like the radio show because it's something different, something new, creative. But that end scene, that's probably my favorite scene, is that confrontation between Leo and Molly's character, Ernest and Molly. Their confrontation there when she's like, "Was that really insulin?" And then he doesn't have to say anything. They just kind of look at each other and just like the acting there with their eyes is just, and then she just walks out. That's probably overall the best acted scene easily for me. And I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was a great way to kind of top off the movie. And then we get the radio show, and then we get the uh, tribal dance. That was just really good. And like, I'm surprised people stayed through the credits because like in our theater, they left or they were snoring,
That's crazy.
which is sad. But like,
Mostly everybody stayed in my theater just to watch the credits and just wait till the end. Yeah, it was really cool.
you have more respectful people where you were at, I guess.
Yeah, I
more-
guess so.
Southeast Missouri people, gosh, terrible people. Can't even sit through the credits of a great movie. They got to snore. They got to sleep through it. Some dude brought his 2 little kids in there. I was like, you know what? You're a great father. Like I was just thinking the whole time. I was like, that is one great dad. You like he brought his kids to more like they got up probably like 4 or 5 times to go to the bathroom, but like just a king. I want to shout out to that dad who brought his kids to see Killers of the Flower Moon. You are raising your kids right, sir, whoever you are, because like shout out to him. Like he brought his 2. He said, you know what? We're gonna watch a 3.5-hour Martin Scorsese movie. That's gonna be brutal, and like you're gonna enjoy it. And like they seem to like it. I mean,
Yeah, it's heavy for however old they were probably, but
yeah, one looked like 12, the other probably in high school, but still like I feel like that's a good age. I mean like
yeah, that's definitely when you're starting to pick up on things.
like what a king though. I was just like what a good. I just called him a king. I was like what a good dad. Like taking your kids to see a Martin Scorsese movie. We saw it late too. We saw the 9:30 because I picked the theater we go to down here in Southeast Missouri is Marcus Theaters, and they have the super screen DLX. They showed Mac knows because he's been there, but like they showed the Killers of the Flower Moon in that, but it was the only showing they had in that. The rest were on all the little theaters. So like we picked the 9:30 just because we wanted to see it on a bigger screen with better sound. Like I picked the biggest screen and the best sound I could find for this movie around me to watch this movie. Like I was so pumped for this movie. I was like, I'm not watching it in a regular theater. I'm gonna pick the super screen DLX because I want the biggest screen, the best sound for Scorsese. I wish we could have seen it in IMAX. That would have been awesome. I don't even know they've showed it. I don't think they even showed it in IMAX, but like if they did, it would have been cool.
There's something about the theater experience. The best way to see it. But like we went and saw Halloween the week after. That film played so good on the big.
Yeah. Like seeing Halloween for the first time was just on the big screen. I mean, I've seen it countless times before. Both of us have, but like, yeah, something about a theater experience. Go to the theater, people, more. I mean, you can't beat it. You're in a dark room. It's nothing but you in the movie. You can't look at your phone, or you're not supposed to. A lot of people do, sadly. But like, go to the theater, turn your phone off. Your Snapchats can wait. Your hoes can wait. Your men can wait. Whatever you got on your phone, I don't judge you. Your Tinder swipes can wait. Whatever you do, just put your phone in your pocket and watch a film, and just like try it. Just try it for once, because I'm telling you, you will actually get a better experience. Because like I will always put my phone down when I watch a movie. I always put my phone up because like I want to fully experience a movie, and it's hard nowadays with the overstimulated society, and I get it. Especially people younger than us, at least like our age, we grew up before like smartphones were huge. So like we kind of know what it's like to not have a smartphone. So we can kind of deal with that better because some kids, were raised with smartphones. So like that's all they know. But like if you can, like try to just like turn off your phone and go to the theater and watch a Martin Scorsese movie, Christopher Nolan movie, Denis Villeneuve, Michael Mann's coming out in December with a film. Watch these great filmmakers. Give them all your attention. And that's what I think. I'm guilty of falling asleep during movies. When I went to go see the Eternals, but after that, I think Eternals is fine. It's the MCU movie. They get enough money. They're okay. MCU's okay. If you fall asleep during MCU, I'm not gonna be mad at you. Jacob would have been mad at you. I used to be a diehard MCU fan, but like I've fallen off hard from the MCU. So like, that's okay. Just don't fall asleep during Scorsese. That's all I ask. If you fall asleep during Scorsese, I will haunt your nightmares. I will be in there like Freddy Krueger. And yeah. Actually, no. I just compared myself to Freddy Krueger, who's a child predator. That was not a good idea, but like, you know what? We're live. We're rolling with it.
Now everybody knows.
Damn it. But like, besides the child predator part, I will do the other part of Freddy Krueger where he goes in your dreams and murder you. But like, yeah, Scorsese, man. Scorsese, man. What about Scorsese? What a great guy.
What I'll say, Scorsese, a lot of filmmakers, directors aren't that good when they get old. I mean, De Palma lost his touch. John Carpenter lost his touch. A lot of guys that I love and are really influenced by, when they get old, they don't make it. Scorsese has been an exception time again to that.
Yeah. Like, Scorsese has probably the best vitality of any director. Just like he's gone for like since the 60s, 70s. I mean, he wasn't big until Taxi Driver, really, but like so mid 70s is when he really hit it. And then since the mid 70s, I mean, he's the only one that's come out of there besides Spielberg that's still relevant. He has the vitality. I mean, Spielberg I think he's fallen off, but like some people disagree with that. But like Scorsese, I think, is the most consistent director we've had that's spanned since the 70s, honestly. Christopher Nolan could be next, though. I see Christopher Nolan staying that way. But yeah, nice cup. You know what? I had to cover it, you know. We already forgot about what I said, okay? Pretty gone. But yeah, I mean, that's Killers of the Flower Moon. I mean, we covered it. We talked about everything, the cinematography, the way it looks. I mean, the acting. I mean, what's your grade for this movie, you guys? Whatever you give. You guys have different scorings probably. So just whatever you grade movies, what are your grades? 8 out of 10? Okay.
Yeah, give me some time. I'll let you go first.
I don't know. Maybe a 6. No, I'm just kidding. A+. 10 out of 10 for me. A+. Masterpiece. Said it. Call it. Nothing wrong. There's nothing in this movie I would change. Nothing wrong with it. Masterpiece. 10 out of 10 for me. Second best movie of the year. Only to Oppenheimer.
Probably rock the A-. Probably like a 9 to 9.5 probably.
Okay. So I rated it the highest. Look at me. I'm not. You know what? I'm nicer on movies than some people. The only time I was ever mean to a movie on this podcast was The Exorcist Believer. And people still talk about that podcast to this day. And you know what? I'm glad you guys do, because that movie is dog shit. And I'll say it again. Exorcist Believer.
I warned you.
He did. Lost and warned me. He said, don't even go see that piece of shit. And I was like, I have to. It's part of my thing, man. Have you seen Exorcist Believer, Mac?
I've not. I haven't even seen the first Exorcist.
You're a crazy man. You're an insane man. It's already past spooky season now, but you can still watch it. It's good any time of the year.
I don't know if I want to watch it.
Are you scared of it?
I'd rather. I'm not scared of it, but I'd rather not be scared, if that makes sense.
It's not as scary as people say it is. It's a good film about a guy rediscovering his faith at the end of it. Like there is the sick little girl, and there is some funny I think it's funny. Some people might think it's messed up scenes, but like at the end of the day, it's about a priest regaining his faith, and it's a really good movie. You should definitely check it out. But yeah, Exorcist Believer, you never have to watch. Just take that off your list. I mean, you could if you want to be scared. I mean, you don't even have to watch it because it's not going to scare you. It may scare you with how bad it is because it is that bad. But like, I feel like Blumhouse is going to start like watching my podcast and like mark every time once this goes up on YouTube. I bet Blumhouse is going to like try to like get some kind of claim on it or something for me talking shit about their movie so much. But like, come on, Blumhouse. You know, I'd like you to hire me to make a movie one day because you hire indie directors, but like, you know what? At the end of the day, I wouldn't care. I got A24. If you can, yeah, can't do it. Can I do it? Yeah, you can't really see that. Just trying to show you guys my nipple there, but A24 hire me. Now this is getting sad. Now I'm the only one talking. I'm over here begging for A24 to hire me. This has gotten sad.
Still judging you for watching The Exorcist Believer. The spirit of Billy Friedkin is looking down on you with shame right now.
You know what? He probably is. And you know what? He should. He should be disappointed in me. I'm disappointed in myself. Every day I wake up in the morning and I think, I watched Exorcist Believer. I don't deserve to have a good life. But yeah. God, people are going to really think I'm just like hating this movie. But like, I do hate it. But we're talking about good movies today. That movie's gone. We're talking about good movies. It doesn't need to be any more relevant. Hire him now, A24. Yes, please hire me. Like, hire all three of us. Matt can act too. Me and Lawson, we're just directors. Mac actually has acting on his, like, he's a dual talented person. So like, hire him. Hire all three of us. You see Jacob? You see his name? Lawson Thresher, Lawson Film Works. Like, hire us. I think we could do a good movie. Good slasher. Hey, Deontay is finally free. Deontay, before we get off of Killers of the Flower Moon, is there something you want to say? Add in here, boy? Let's see if he adds anything, because I know he wanted to say something about this film, because he just watched it, and he said it might be his favorite Scorsese, too, which is crazy to me. Because you also have, like, Raging Bull, but, like, I get it. Or waiting on... Huh?
Well, I don't think it's a wrong answer to have Killers of the Flower Moon as your favorite Scorsese. May not be right, but it's not wrong.
Robert De Niro bodied his brother. Yes, he did. He killed that. We talked about it. He killed that shit. So subtle, but so intense. Just like such a good role by him. And
You know what's interesting is in real life, around the time the murders happened, I think that dude was in his 50s. And De Niro's 80. I think that guy only lived to be 87. So some people were saying Leo should have played his character, but that wouldn't have worked.
no. Leo's not that old yet. I don't think he could pull off playing a 50-something-year-old. Maybe with makeup, but I mean, even then, I don't know.
Isn't he
I think he was too old to play this role. Apparently, people were saying that he was supposed to be like 20 years younger than he actually is.
20 years younger? Dang.
Yeah.
40?
I think Leo's in his 40s for sure, I think.
Yeah.
He's got to be in his 40s.
I think they're saying the actual guy in real life was in his 20s when this happened, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. But, like, I don't think you could find the actor that's 20-something years old that could have done what Leo did with this role. I think you had to have somebody that had the experience and the chops of Leo to be able to pull that off. And I bet there is some 20-something-year-old that could probably do it, but they're probably hard to find. I can't think of any, like, famous ones right now that could pull it off better than Leo did. Or just as good.
I wonder if the real guy was that much of a dumbass, or if they just did that for the movie.
He probably was that much of a dumbass. It was tough call to make, but it came down to this and Goodfellas. Goodfellas is overrated. I said that, and I've said it, and I'll say it again. That's my hottest take. Is Lawson agrees with me actually, so it's not that too hot of a take. I think Goodfellas is. It's not even top 5 Scorsese for me. I put After Hours over Goodfellas. I put Raging Bull. I put King of Comedy. I put Taxi Driver. I put, what else do I put? Killers of the Flower Moon. I put The Aviator. I put so many over Goodfellas, and I'm sorry. I think Goodfellas is one of the most overrated movies of all time, and I will always say that. I think Mac's probably a Goodfellas fan, aren't you? Are you a Goodfellas guy? Have you seen Goodfellas?
I've not.
Well, okay.
No comment.
Raging Bull over Goodfellas, actually. You know what? Raging Bull's worth it. Raging Bull is actually... I love Raging Bull. Leo's transformation into someone from Southeast Missouri. I mean, you're not wrong. He does remind... I mean, there's a lot of people like Leo's character around... I mean, hopefully they're not killing their wife's whole family. But, like, yeah, a lot of people are... He does. I mean, like, he got the accent down and everything. He's like, I sure do like women. and like, he goes and he's like, I like them yellow, I like them brown, I like them red, I like them blue. He said, I like any kind of woman. And I'm just like, oh my God. I know people that talk like that, though. So, like, I mean, I kind of talk like that. For being honest, I kind of have that accent. So
that was a good Leo impression. I thought it was pretty close to how his dialect was in the film.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, it's not too far off. It's not hard for me to go Southern. So, like, I have a pretty Southern accent already, so that helps. But, like, thank you. I appreciate that. I do have some acting, by the way, A24, if you're watching this. I mean, I'm not as good as Mac. He has professional training. I just have Lawson Filmworks training. And I didn't even say a word. I just have a Phantom suit on, and I'm just standing there. And then I'm on my knees a lot, too. But, like, not like that. But, like, you know, I'm on my knees because I was too tall, and we had to get the right shot. But, like, what else was it? I played a dead body. I was killed by a serial killer in Nick's film, Nick Lukachic's film. If you guys ever watched that, I forgot. Jack Goes to Hell, I think, is the name of that short film. I am dead body dead guy or something. I forgot my title, but yeah, I get killed by eating a poisoned zebra cake, and I just lay there dead while the serial killer laughs at me. But like, I'm good at playing dead people. Apparently, every time I'm cast as a dead person. I was a Phantom, and then I was a dead murder victim. So like, if you need a dead person, I'm really good at that. I mean, I'm pale enough.
I have one acting credit. I'm in a film. It's on Tubi that I'd rather not discuss here because it's a piece of shit.
Oh. Well, dang. Well, at least you're on Tubi. I'm not even on Tubi. I mean, that's something. At least you're on Tubi, man.
I guess.
Long time no see, Mac.
Hey, Deontay. Long time no see, indeed. Hope you're doing well.
Mac, you know Deontay? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we had classes together.
Heck yeah.
Good vibes only.
That's my boy. He's the head of our network here. That's my boy. Anything else you want to say about it, Deontay, in the comments before we go here? We did pretty good at this. We did an hour and 23 minutes. This is our shortest podcast yet. Look at me go. I'm good at timing shit for once. I mean, I usually go over and go like 3 hours, but like, look at me.
I feel like we talked about a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the whole movie, everything. We gave good, we all three gave good behind the scenes stuff that like other people didn't know. So like,
yeah, and there was a lot. Like, there's so many scenes we could have talked about that we just like missed, but like we did cover a lot.
Yeah, there's like this movie we could talk about for hours. There's tons, but like we covered what we could. 10 out of 10, same there, same score as me, buddy. Yes, sir. And it's right there with Goodfellas and Raging Bull. I see. Raging Bull, I can see. Goodfellas should be at the bottom, but like, oh, the hottest take of hottest takes of hottest take. This may be hotter than any of Nick's takes. Killers of.
I could see it.
Whew.
Oppenheimer's pretty good though.
I can't make that distinction. You know, it's like I said, apples and oranges. I mean, what's a better film, Chinatown or Vertigo? No idea. They're both wonderful.
Vertigo. Easily. What are you talking about?
I've only seen Vertigo.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah. There's a beverage here.
No, but I don't like to compare films. It's film to me is either good or bad. It's hard to compare them to each other.
Deontay, you're wrong with that take. I don't care what these guys say. Oppenheimer is easily the best, but okay, better than this, but okay. Oppenheimer's in my top 50 though, so I got to do that. It's rare for a movie to get in my top 50 when it just came out. Like a lot of the movies that are in my top 50 are old movies. So the fact that a 2023 movie got in my top 50, that's a good ass movie. That's a good movie. Masterpiece, I would say. But any other hot takes, Deontay, here? Also, I guess why if he's typing while he's typing, I don't know for sure. Oh, I mean that helps. That adds. I'm just kidding. I'm not a pervert, everybody. Not. It adds though. She's great role. Good actress. She's a good actress. What can I say? No, but yeah, Oppenheimer, man. What a movie. I could talk about Oppenheimer again, but like, yeah. While I'm waiting on him to say anything else, The Creator, because we advertised it, so I feel like if somebody's gonna watch this and be like, I thought you guys were gonna talk about The Creator. I'll talk about The Creator for a quick second while you guys are here, because I think you guys should check it out. I think both of you like sci-fi, right?
Not really.
I've seen your letterbox. You like some sci-fi.
Maybe some. The Thing is sci-fi.
What about you? I know Mac likes sci-fi. I know you like sci-fi.
Show me the right movie. Yeah.
The Creator.
I'll definitely go see one.
The Creator. It stars John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son. If you guys don't know that, but like he was in Tenet. If you're a Christopher Nolan fan, he's a great actor, underrated actor. He's just now kind of blowing up though. He used to be a football player and then he switched to acting, but he's getting there with his dad. But like, it's Gareth Edwards, the guy that directed Rogue One, which Rogue One isn't the best Star Wars movie, and I don't even want to get on Star Wars because people are crazy over Star Wars, and I don't want to get attacked for saying anything Star Wars thoughts. But like, if you don't like that movie, it's not his fault because Disney had a lot of interference with that movie. Like he had a lot of production interference. Like his original vision is not what the actual movie turned out to be. And like actually, if you go watch the trailer for Rogue One, it's like a lot of scenes are cut out in the actual movie. So like I don't blame him for that. And he directed Godzilla before that, the 2014 one with Aaron Taylor Johnson, Bryan Cranston, and Elizabeth Olsen. That one, but like it's original sci-fi film. He came up with it originally. He came up with the concept, wrote it. It bombed at the box office. It did terrible. I don't even know if it's it went out of theaters really quickly. It came out late September, so it came out the weekend me and Mac were actually in Chicago, so it's been a while. But it's out of it may be still in some theaters, but like theaters around here, it's gone. But like check it out on streaming at least. Pay for it on stream. Buy it if you can. Give it support. It is a great original sci-fi. Okay, it's really good. It's a really good original sci-fi film. It's a little too influenced. It takes a little too much influence from Blade Runner and things like that. And it tries to force emotion that's not there, and it's not quite like he should have went over the script one more time, I think. But like the score is great. Hans Zimmer does the score. Great visual. I mean, this movie was $80 million. It looks better than any MCU movie that's come out in the last recent years. Like last probably 5 years, any MCU movie. And it perfectly shows that the MCU should not have the CGI problem they have, because like they're spending $200 million on movies and they don't look as good as an $80 million movie that a director did by himself, that he came up with it by himself. Like, that's insane to me that this movie looks miles better than any MCU movie in the last 5 years. So for that, for the visuals alone, give it support because it deserves it. It is beautiful. It is hot. Hey, it could be a hot take. It could be a hot take. I mean, there's a lot of MCU people out there. I might get murdered. That might be my last podcast, but it's true. It looks better than any No Way Home. It looks better than Endgame. I'll say it. Looks better than all of those in the last 5 years. The creator, go check it out. I don't want to give too much away. I think going into it blind is the best way to go into it. Just know amazing visuals, original story. Made for $80 million. Didn't make. I think it barely made its budget back. I may have bombed actually. I know it for sure didn't make a ton of money. Go check it out. Support original filmmakers, because like you could tell he wanted to make this, and like he's been trying to get it off the ground since 2017. He said so. Like this is a passion project for him, and he got it out there. And like John David Washington's so good in it. Hans Zimmer could have done the score better, which is crazy because it's Hans Zimmer, but it kind of feels like he phoned it in. But like I feel like the score could have been better. The visuals, everything technical besides the score is perfect. It's just the story that's lacking. The story's a little rough, but like he should have went over the script one more time. But like overall, really good movie. Definitely worth at least one watch. Worth your money. Worth a theater ticket. Buy easily. It's a beautiful looking film. Go check out The Creator if you haven't. And that's all I have to say about The Creator, because you guys haven't watched it yet. But you will. Right? Yes.
I'll give
Lawson,
it a watch.
Mac will. I'll make Mac watch it, and I'll make Lawson watch it too. I'll make both of you watch it. I know where both of you live, but Lawson's like, screw that genre. I can't even talk today, but like, yeah.
I like old films, man. The new films, I don't know. They don't cut it for me.
Lawson's the old guy. He likes, Jimmy Stewart, 1950s, Alfred Hitchcock type stuff.
You can see the posters behind me.
I mean, you can see, look at the posters behind him. He's a Good, Bad, the Ugly, Chinatown, Vertigo, and The Godfather over there.
Yeah. Those are my top 4 favorite movies.
I mean, behind him. I mean, look what's behind me, Blade Runner 2049 poster. So, like, of course I like sci-fi. I'd kind of give that away. But, like, yeah, go watch The Creator. Give that movie its props because it deserves it. I love that we got an original sci-fi movie this year, and it's going so under the radar. Nobody's talking about it. It makes me sad, man. We're getting original sci-fi films, and nobody's talking about it. Come on. But, like, yeah, and I mean, that was Killers of the Flower Moon. I think we covered everything we could. We talked about Scorsese, how great he is, how he's the most he's the best director of the last 50 years. His term is longevity and consistency. I mean, we got Deontay's take in here, which is great, even though he's wrong with the Oppenheimer being worse. Yeah, I mean, we covered everything. He has a Freddie Mercury poster. Oh. Like the movie? Never seen the movie. Is there a movie? Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, right? Never seen that movie. Well, Deontay, you're just too cool for me. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's it, guys. I mean, thank you for joining. I mean, this is my shortest stream. No, actually, I had a shorter one. But, like, this is the second shortest stream, which is good because I was thinking Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon. There's a lot to dive in with the political stuff and like it's so deep in themes, man. We could talk about this movie for hours, but really, I think you guys should just watch it yourself. Thank you. I know. I think you guys should just watch it yourself and make your own opinions about it. If you don't think it's at least great, you're an idiot and don't watch film, I guess. But like, I think you should at least, go watch this. Go watch The Creator as well. The next stream I will be doing, what is this, November 7th? It may be an end of year stream. It may be an end of year stream. Episode 8 may be end of year where I rank every movie I've seen in 2023. I'm thinking about it. I might go crazy trying to do that because I've seen a lot of 2023 movies. And like going through and the thought of going through and that talking about each movie, oh God. But like I may do a extravaganza end of year stream for my next stream in December. Because I try to keep these at a month apart because I don't think there's any fudge. Napoleon's coming out. Forgot about Napoleon. That's coming out. Ridley Scott, and then Michael Mann's Ferrari is coming out in December. So there will be a few movies to talk about. Actually, there might. Okay, so you're gonna get one podcast for sure before the end of the year, where I talk about all my favorite movies of 2023, and I might go through and rank every movie if I have the time, and then you may get another one on Napoleon and Ferrari because those are Ridley Scott, Michael Mann. Michael Mann's one of my favorite directors, so like I got to talk about Ferrari. I'm so excited for that. Any movies you guys are excited for the rest of the year before we sign off?
I have not read the book, but I'm kind of excited to see the Hunger Games movie. It comes out next week.
Oh, that does come out next week. I forgot. I'll check that out too. I've seen all the other ones. I gotta check out. And I like blanking on her name, Rachel Ziegler. I like her. So
Rachel Ziegler, yeah,
she's good. I know Lawson will not be watching that because he doesn't watch any. He might see. I feel like he'd watch Napoleon with me. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Ferrari, Michael Mann, but that's about it for you.
Napoleon looks good, but the color grading sucks. That's my thing about that. But it looks interesting.
I mean, it's Joaquin Phoenix, Ridley Scott directing. It's gotta be good, man. Deontay says Napoleon, Wonka, Thanksgiving.
Wonka.
I forgot about Timothy Chalamet and Willy Wonka. I know a lot of girls are excited for that one, but like, will I be? Probably. Honestly, I don't know if I want to see Wonka. I'm gonna watch it. I love the Oompa Loompas. I have a weird Oompa Loompa thing, guys. I don't want to. I'm gonna out myself right here on the podcast. I like Oompa Loompas and a little too much. That's all I'm gonna say. I love me some Oompa Loompas. I think they're funny and hilarious. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for the Oompa Loompa and Wonka. I don't care about Timothy Chalamet. And honestly, if I'm being honest with you guys, I think that movie looks mid as hell. The trailer's weak, and Timothy Chalamet looks like he's giving not that good of a performance. So, and I like Timothy Chalamet. I love him in Dune. I love him in he's good in Lady Bird. He's good in other things, but I just don't. Did we need a Wonka? Do we need to see early? That's another thing what Lawson was saying about like remakes and sequels. Do we need a Wonka? I don't think we needed a Wonka. I don't think it's necessary. But hey, it could be great. Who knows? I'm not going to diss it until I see it. But like, and Thanksgiving, that looks like a good horror film. Eli Roth looks like that could be a good slasher. I mean, it could be a fetish. Could be. I don't know. I do have a Scorsese fetish. I love everything Scorsese does. Nolan fetish too. I love Nolan. Nolan's my dad. Not really, but like, I love Nolan.
Mac, what's your top 5 favorite directors?
Directors? Ooh.
Good one.
I love me some Damien Chazelle. He's on there. This is in no particular order. I love him. I love some Spielberg. Ooh. You see, I've not watched enough Scorsese. I've maybe watched one other film. Shutter Island. I've seen that. I can't think of any others. So I will not put Scorsese on there without seeing more films. Man. Oh, Christopher Nolan. I'll throw him on there. Oh, there's a lot. I'll get back to you on it.
He'll get back to you.
If both of us show up on here again, I'll have a list for you.
All right.
A real list.
Both of you will show up on here. I will tie you guys and make sure you show up again. But like, yeah. But yeah, I love how you said I'll throw no one on there. Like, boy, he better be in your top 5. Come on. How can you not have no one in your top 5? I don't think, Lawson, do you have no one in your top 5?
Mine is Sergio Leone, Steven Spielberg, Alfred Hitchcock, David Lean, Roman Polanski.
I mean, the guy, the old movie lover. He loves the old movies. He loves them old movies. You know what I mean? But like, no, I'm just kidding. Roman Polanski's good. I'll give you that. I'll give all those are valid. I think Nolan's better than all of them, but that's me. That's a hot take too, by the way. Nolan better than Hitchcock? That's crazy talk. Nolan better than Spielberg? I said it and I meant it. But yeah, Nolan's the best director ever of all time for me. But that's just a Nolan fanboy. Somebody said, can't wait for Nolan. Yeah. I mean, Wonka. I think Max seems to be excited for Wonka. He reacted very positively. I know Lawson.
I never did that. I'm skeptical, but I'll see it.
You're skeptical? Okay. I just don't know about Wonka, man. Like, did we need it? No, we did not need Wonka. Napoleon, yeah, I'm excited for it. I love historical epics, anything like that. So, like, give me a historical epic all day. I'll watch that shit. I'll watch it. Give me a 3-hour-long epic historical film any day. Ridley Scott, too. I mean, come on. He made Gladiator, guys. Gladiator. So, like, yeah. So, I mean, we got some movies coming up. But those will be my end of year podcast you can look forward to. For sure, 1, maybe 2. Mac and Lawson will be joining us sometime, maybe next year or maybe even the next show. Who knows? We'll see how things go with everything. But I thank you guys for watching. And with that, we're peacing out.